If I don't understand what you do, I don't know how to say you can help me. Therefore, I don't know how to give you money. Pretty straightforward. So confusion and complexity. They're the enemy of understanding. If I don't understand what you do, I cannot remember what you do. And then I can't tell other people what you do. I worked with my business coach for 13 years. The thing he told me to do that allowed me to double my revenue in 1 year, actually less than a year. How do you know what somebody wants without asking them, what do you want? What inspired you? How will you decide who you want to work with? And I said to him, Kier, so we're going to talk about your elevator pitch. Do you guys have a good elevator pitch? The mistake that most people make on the elevator pitch is they just talk about, it's like that joke that they did at the Democratic convention, me, 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 me. It's just all you. And people tune out, okay? So we got to go from me to you. So this is like self-centered and other-centered, and that's what we have to do. All right, let's just go around the room. Since we don't have a lot of people, let's start over here with Tay. What do you do, Tay?
I'm a fractional CMO.
Okay. So we just go fractional CMO. I hand the mic to the next person. What do you do?
Multimedia designer.
Graphic designer.
Okay, next.
Teacher.
What do you teach?
Digital media, multimedia designs, or DMMD.
Teach. Can I just do digital media?
Yeah.
Okay, DMs.
UX researcher.
Perfect. UX researcher. Beautiful. Next.
I own a one-person motion design studio.
Motion designer. You see how this is going, friend? You just follow the template. Motion designer. Perfect. Okay, beautiful.
Brand designer.
Brand designer. Okay. So if you were to meet somebody and give them their elevator pitch, you're in the elevator pitch, you're like, I'm a fractional CMO. What's the problem when you tell somebody you're a fractional CMO? What's the problem? Some people might not know what that means. You know what CMO means, right? Chief Marketing Officer? CMO, CEO, CRO, CTO? See you later? No. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that, because if somebody's looking to hire a fractional CMO, they will know what that is. They're not, because they're not hiring a fractional CMO, but there is a potential problem of people not understanding what that is. Okay. A multimedia designer. Tay, since you have the mic, what could possibly be the problem with a multimedia designer?
Real broad. Multimedia. I think.
What is that?
Everything.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you right now. What you're trying to do is avoid confusion. Because if I don't understand what you do, I don't know how to say you can help me. Therefore, I don't know how to give you money. Pretty straightforward. So confusion is our enemy. Confusion and complexity are the enemy of retention. Okay? They're the enemy of understanding. If I don't understand what you do, I cannot remember what you do. And then I can't tell other people what you do. That's the problem. So we go down the list. Graphic designer. What's the potential problem with graphic designer? Pretty freaking broad. He could design packaging, consumer packaging goods. He could design identity systems, logos. He could be a handler. We don't know. That's the problem. And you go down. So we know what a teacher is, but what subject do you teach? And then we get into digital media, which most media. It's like, you guys love abstraction. The only problem is we're asking the other person who potentially can give us work to do a lot of thinking on our part. So the way that we change the script is this, okay? We have to follow a very specific formula, and it'll get you really close. I know creative people hate formulas. They're like, no, you can't tell me there's a formula for my creativity. You kind of rebel against it. So the first question is we have to ask ourselves who? Who do we help, right? And what is a big problem that they deal with? Or frustration? What gives them a headache? What do they struggle with? So we're looking for a problem. Of course, the problem is something that you solve, right? Now, as a teacher, who are you teaching?
11th and 12th graders.
High school students, seniors and juniors, right?
Yeah.
But high school students, okay?
High school students.
So your answer would be high school students. And what is the problem with high school students that you solve? What's the big problem they have?
Seeing if they want to get into this field.
Okay, how would you say that?
I teach
From the high school student
Overview.
point of view.
career path.
Career path.
Making sure that they want to.
Uncertain about a future.
Yeah.
But say like I'm a parent. What are you doing for my child again?
I'm showing them a way to have dual enrollment. They are working on their portfolio so that way when they go into college or if they want to start working with clients that they'll have the ability to start showing what they can do.
Okay. All right. This is kind of interesting. That was super complicated, by the way. Not very memorable either.
Right.
Okay. Because if you do that for a group of parents who are meeting other teachers, what's the probability they're going to remember you? Not great. But I'm going to show you how to do this. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to add an adjective in front of the high school student. Let's add an adjective. What kind of high school students are they?
Creative.
Right. So now you would say, and you to the parents, you would say your kids who are creative, right? So what problem do creative high school students have that you help solve?
Give them purpose. Find a field.
Okay, what's the negative version of that? Feel what? Because we're trying to find a problem. They feel what? If you don't have a purpose, you feel unheard?
Yeah.
What else? What other words are used?
Rudderless, like not having, they don't know what they want to do and what they can do with their creativity.
Okay, so here's how you do the formula, okay?
Okay.
It starts like this. You know how ... And you would just fill in this rest, right? I'll show you how it works. What do? Well, you know how creative high school students don't know what career direction to go and feel lost and directionless? Like, yes. I help them find a career in art and help them get into the university of their choice. Oh, how do you do that? Well, I teach digital media design. You see, it's a conversation, not a monologue. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if you were to meet Jess at a party and she told you, let's go the old way, tell us how you pitch yourself. What do you do again, Jess? There
I
you go.
teach digital multimedia, media design.
Okay. How does that hit you guys? Versus version 2. What do you do, Jess?
You know how creative students are often lost and directionless?
Yes.
I help them find.
So you have to wait for me to say, yeah, you have to pause. It's a conversation. We need to converse with each other, okay?
Okay.
I'm like, yes, actually I have a high school student myself. How do you help them?
I help them find a creative career and point to different universities that might help them continue in a career.
I have a bunch of friends that need your help. See the difference between the two? There's a book I think his name is Michael Porter. It's called Book Yourself Solid. He wants to kill the elevator pitch. So he's trying to help you frame what you do as a benefit and a problem that you solve. He has ways that you can do it in 10 seconds, in 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, and 10 minutes. All different versions, and you need to know how to say this so that when you're meeting the potential client of your dreams, you know what to say. Because if you don't, that opportunity may not come again. The problem is, I hate to say this, creative people are really self-centered. All we do is talk about ourselves, what we do, how wonderful we are, where we went to school, what clients we've helped. It's really boring. How do I know? Because if I had to make you guys network with each other, you have drool in your mouth. It's like, this is so boring right now, and you won't remember anything. So here's the problem. We only listen to like 6 or 7 pitches, right? Not a lot. Very hard to remember because complexity and confusion are enemies of understanding and retention. Do not confuse people by using complicated language or adding on a lot of commas. One problem, one avatar, one result. You got that? So let's go over again. One avatar, one problem, one result. You need to tell them all of your life story, right? This is what people do. Right, I was born on a cold winter night. It's December 12th. I remember it clearly. My mom was just pregnant. No, nobody cares. It's too late. They will care as soon as you tell them what's in it for them. And you can do that. Now, can you do that? As long as I've been teaching, 20 plus years now, creative people don't like to follow formulas. They just will not follow formulas. Why? I do not know. They like to just struggle and be poor. If I told you do these next 5 things in this exact sequence and you'll be a millionaire, they're like, I want to do these 2, but not those 3. They will. You know, I heard Alex Ramosi. You guys know who Alex Ramosi is? He said on stage at the, well, I forget, whatever, Grow with Video conference, he goes, there's all these guys, these young kids, like who he attracts, these alpha dogs, you know? And they're like, we want to work for you. I want to become rich, Alex. And he goes, okay, I'll tell you what to do, and you tell me if you're going to do it. But I guarantee you, if you do it, you'll make $1 million. Here's what he said. I want you to read I want you to post content for a year. I never pitch a single thing. I want you to consistently every single day. They're like, I don't want to do it. So you're not willing to do work for 1 year to make $1 million. And he says, I guarantee you, you'll make $1 million. Why creative people don't want to follow directions? Some of you may know this, but I worked with my business coach for 13 years. He's passed away since, right? Worked with him 13 years. The thing he told me to do that allowed me to double my revenue in 1 year, actually less than a year, was he told me to do something. Here's what he told me to do. He says, how do you pitch new business? We work for ad agencies, right? I told him, this is how we do it. He says, okay, that's not very good. I said, I thought it was great. At this point, I'm doing $2.1 million in revenue every year. He goes, when do you ask the client a question? I thought I was supposed to just pitch. So when the agency says, here's the script, we're going to walk you through our idea. At the end of it, they ask this question, what's your take on it? And what I do immediately is I start pitching my ideas. Well, we could do this. What if we lens this? What if we cast these people? And what if we grade it this way and edit this way? That's how I thought you're supposed to do a new business call. Kind of like what you do. And that's why I have such a strong reaction to it. He didn't really literally say this, but he's like, idiot, how do you know what somebody wants without asking them, what do you want? What inspired you? How will you decide who you want to work with? And I said to him, Kier, I can't ask those kind of questions. That's rude. He goes, do you want to try it or not? And I tried it. And I'm telling you, I swear to God, 2 calls later, I'm winning pitches left and right. We went from winning 20% of the new business pitches to 75% plus. I went from feeling really depressed and feeling like demoralized because we're only winning 1 out of 5 pitches. That's 20%. We were leaving so much money on the table with brands I wanted to work with all the time, to a point in which I felt like there's no pitch I could not win. And all he did was tell me, ask some questions, dummy. So I asked questions. And then I taught my team how to ask questions, and they were winning. And they were winning so much, I didn't go on the pitches anymore. And every time he told me to do something, I just did it. Imagine if Kier told me, Chris, ask your clients questions, and I waited 10 years to ask that question. Would I be here? Would I still be in business? I don't think so. I'd be on the road, like I'd be in rehab or something. I don't know where I would be. Develop a drinking habit. It sucks to pitch after work that you really want for budgets you can only dream of, and for 4 out of 5 of them to say, no, not today, not you, someone else. And then you're like, why not me? You know how I would console myself before I hired Kier to teach me? I said, at least we were considered. Look at all these amazing companies I admire. We're pitching against them. That self-talk can only last so long before you want to take desperate measures.
You said that there's usually one thing that's holding
Always
everyone
one thing.
back. Yeah. Do you have? And obviously, I know that will be difficult because everyone is.
You want to know what the one thing is?
Well, not so much what it is, but like, do you have any advice to figure it out?
I have the advice that it's very difficult for you to be in your world and to be able to see your own thing. That's why consultants and coaches and preachers, ministers, therapists, friends, instructors help you to see what you cannot see. If you have high self-awareness and you sit there and think a lot about who you are, you can probably see it yourself. It's very difficult, especially if you've not been coached or trained for any period of time, for you to be able to see it, which is good news for people like me because I can see it. I can see it almost instantly.
Just a quick thought. I don't know if this is going to stick with anyone, but I know this was helpful for me. So if the thought lands, hold it. If not, just do away with it. But it's this idea that just because your problem is not special, it doesn't mean that you're not special. I think sometimes when we are getting solutions to things, what happens in our mind, so if you come here and Chris gives you a straight shot answer, hey, do this, all of a sudden what happens to me as I talk with Chris, and I think what happens to a lot of us is we start going through, okay, but here's why what you're saying doesn't apply to my situation. Because we feel, and because you're special, you are valuable, but your problems may not be, right? And I think because we live in all of the context and all of the nuance and all of the story and all of the background and we feel if all of those things aren't heard and understood and taken into account, that we're being misunderstood and that it's not the solution for us.